Hey everyone, I'm Phil. I'm a filmmaker and storyteller, and I'm now officially somewhere in between being a second and third year medical student. And in 5 weeks, hopefully, I will be taking the step one. So when I said that I wanted this vlog to be my anti-isolation project, I was really just saying it because I'd be studying a lot and I needed some kind of like outlet to kind of document my progress and stuff. I didn't actually anticipate that it would actually become like a literal kind of anti-isolation project because of just the recent events right now and social distancing. Since I left school last week, I think I've only talked to 3 people in person, and none of those have been my classmates. It's kind of a weird time for me, honestly, because a lot of things that I was planning on doing to keep myself sane and grounded and kind of connected with people during this time involved being out there in the world. Going rock climbing was one of them. Studying in cafes was going to be another thing that I was going to do. And essentially all those things were to get me out of my apartment and just generally out in the world so I can feed off of everyone's positive energy and kind of set medicine aside for a little bit. But now I kind of have to stay here in my apartment 24/7 to study and keep myself occupied here. You know, me and my friends can't even meet up to kind of apartment hop in terms of studying at people's houses or getting morning coffee to start off our study days. So all of that kind of contributes to making me feel a little bit more lonely than usual. I think a lot of that stems from studying for STEP is already pretty isolating. I mean, even without this pandemic, I have to be studying for more than like 8 hours, 8 or 9 hours, 10 hours a day, and with like full concentration. And by the time I get to my free time, I'm already so kind of tired and not wanting to connect with people. And it's like hard to stay up to date on the latest news and to stay engaged with politics and organizing. And so adding on top of that, the pandemic and like, obviously this is good that we have to be social distancing, but that also takes away a lot of the things that I find very fulfilling in life, which is just being around people and feeding off of good energy, making covers with people or jamming out or rock climbing. But at the end of the day, I think that being able to study for STEP and to be here in my apartment and not have to worry about the food I'm going to eat or having to pay rent or needing to hold down a job or anything like that, I think that's such a privilege, and I am very grateful for that. So even though I'm feeling anxious about things in terms of how my test is going to go, if they're going to cancel my test, or if clinical rotations are still going to be on time, I always want to contextualize that in terms of what else is going on in the world, in this country, and in the communities that I'm in. Definitely, I encourage you, if you have the means and the civility and the bandwidth, definitely foster a culture of mutual aid and taking care of the communities around you, especially the people who are going to be affected by this pandemic the most. If you can, donate to local food banks and food drives, support small businesses that have had to close down their shops, either by buying their takeout or buying gift cards or supporting their online classes. If you know any freelance artists, definitely buy their work if they have previous work, or not, just give them exposure by sharing their work to your friends. If you have any elderly folks in your community, definitely check in on them, see if they need any groceries or medications or anything like that. And that goes the same for any undocumented folks that you might know. It is a lot harder to access the medical system when you are undocumented, so definitely look out for your friends who are undocumented, help them get the resources that they need. And definitely for you all, the people that watch me, I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you're taking care of yourself. I hope you find some happiness and some peace in this time, despite it being kind of very wild. We all have to kind of take it day by day, and it is really scary, but there are so many ways to connect with each other. And I hope that y'all will reach out to me too, either through comments or texts or Instagram, anything like that. In terms of things to check out, I watched 2 movies. I watched Tokyo Godfathers and I watched Miss Purple. Both of them really great films. I'll put the link for both of them in the description below. Tokyo Godfathers is by Satoshi Kon, who is an amazing animator. He did Perfect Blue and Paprika, and he has just like this amazing animation style. And a lot of filmmakers have actually been pretty inspired by him, including Christopher Nolan and Darren Aronofsky. Both of them have legitimately taken like frame by frame things from Satoshi Kon's work and put them into their work. So Tokyo Godfathers is a little bit less whimsical than his other 2 works, but definitely just as humanistic and definitely just as beautiful in terms of animation. Miss Purple is by Justin Chon. He had a film out maybe 2 years ago called Gook. I also love this film a lot. It also takes place in LA. It has this like gorgeous, like hypnotic cinematography. It has all these like anamorphic flares and like this super shallow depth of field that really makes this world feel lived in. And I think it's one of those few films where LA actually feels like LA in terms of its subcultures and districts and the various people that live within it. I definitely recommend checking those 2 out. If y'all have any recommendations of movies to watch, definitely let me know either in the comments below or just text me. I'm definitely looking forward to watching some more movies during this dedicated time. I've also picked up Fire Emblem 3 Houses, which I'm really enjoying. It was my treat to myself for finishing off the M2 year. It's like a grid-based strategy game, also mixed in with a little bit of social simulation. In a way, it's kind of like one of my other favorite games in the past 2 years, 3 years, Persona 5. It has a lot of things that are similar to that in terms of like time management and RPG elements. I really love the style, and the world is pretty interesting to explore thus far. There's like 3 houses in it, and you have to choose one of the houses, and that's really fun because they all have their different personalities and quirky cast of characters. So in a way, it kind of reminds me of Harry Potter and the different houses that are in that. And yeah, it's a pretty fun game to unwind. I know that Animal Crossing is coming out in a couple days, and I am really interested in it. The last time I had Animal Crossing was actually when I had a Nintendo DS when I was in high school. I really loved it, except that my Nintendo DS got stolen at the movie theater. And after that, I never picked up another portable gaming console since then. I've always been sad that somewhere out there, my little village, little town in Animal Crossing is somewhere out in the world because someone stole it. So at the moment, I don't think I'm gonna buy Animal Crossing just because I already bought Fire Emblem's 3 Houses, but sometime in the future, I might check it out. It is such a calming game, meditative game, in terms of just relaxing and just being yourself, really. Cool. I'm exhausted. I just finished a 6-hour practice exam today, so I'm pretty beat. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you so much for supporting me. I think the next video is going to be a bouldering video. Don't worry, I haven't been bouldering. I just have a huge backlog of climbing videos, so hopefully I can use that to stretch out my content until I'm able to go to the gym again. If you haven't checked out my music video with Dan Guillory, that's in the bio. You can check that out. You can check out any of the other videos in my channel as well. I always appreciate your support. Thank you for keeping me sane and allowing me this outlet to just talk to you all and document my progress. So yeah, I really appreciate that. I hope you all are well. Definitely keep yourself safe, keep your family safe, keep everyone around you safe. Definitely socially distance yourselves, but definitely still find ways to connect with the people around you. And yeah, we'll get through this day by day. I'll see you next week.